Guys, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. This is going to be my review on the presidential debate. I know we're a few days late on this. I have had a hell of a few days, so I'm just going to dive right in because most likely this is going to be a bit long video. Just preface, I'm not really for either candidate. Going into this, I didn't even think this was going to freaking happen. I thought they would come up with some excuse because you've seen so many videos of Biden like spacing out and like attacking his own supporters, and I was like, they're not going to let this happen. So I don't know what drugs they gave him. I don't know if he had an earpiece in because he denied the. Trump said, we should have a third party see if you have an earpiece, because some earpieces are so far down like you can't see it. Like you have to do it with an otoscope. Otoscope, yeah. But outside of that, I think Biden really surprised everyone with how well he did. Didn't lose. He might have lost his train of thought like once or twice, but really not anything to what people thought he was going to do. Like people thought he was going to like fall asleep, and it was like, but no, he didn't. He did very well, I think. So well in the fact that even though I don't think there was a clear winner in the debate, I think that because Biden's expectations were set so low, that I think people think that he might actually win, and I'll go over why. Now, people are like, no boos or cheers. Like, fuck, man, I want people to boo. I want people to cheer at what they like and dislike. Whatever, that was one of the rules. And Trump was attacking like the moderator. Like he was like, who am I debating? Am I debating you or am I debating Joe? Like, come on, Trump, don't attack the moderator. That's not gonna get you any points. Okay, I'm not for Trump. I'm not for Biden. I'm gonna vote for Joe Jorgensen, most likely. Now, Trump used the word consequences when talking about the last election, that he won. Now, I get that some consequences don't necessarily mean bad. Like, let's say if we, continue to have poverty and we continue to attack it and more people have internet and access to technology, a consequence of that will give rise to several billionaires, or several geniuses become billionaires and help the world. But I feel like most people think of the word as consequence and they think bad. So when Trump says, well, the consequences of the last election, I don't think he should have said that word. It's just me. Biden said, I am the Democratic Party. And then Trump said, not according to Harris. And I thought that was hysterical. I think Trump is really funny. And I think a lot of people resonate with that because he is. Like, he's funny. Like, you can't tell me he's not entertaining. So when Joe said, all right, this is how bad this point was. Like, a lot of times I'll remember certain things, like, oh, he said this, he said this. I don't remember the question that Biden was asked. All I remember is Biden saying, no, I'm not going to answer the question. Like, someone teach him how to skirt around an issue, please. Then we have Biden brings up the fact that Trump said, maybe we should inject bleach into ourselves to kill the virus. Something we could do, maybe, I don't know. Most likely Trump was joking when he said that, but the media's had a field day with it. I've had a field day with it. That shit is hilarious. Biden forgot what college he went to. Trump went on the attack with that. I don't know where Biden finished in that college. I don't think college is really important unless you're going to be a lawyer, doctor, engineer, because I have no college. I work with several people that had 5-6 years of colleges. They have MBAs. I work with people and make more money than people that did go to college. I don't think college is that important. Trump says shutdowns have hurt the economy. 100% agreed with that. And a lot of the places that shut down were states with Democratic governors, or like fucking Cuomo or Newsom in California. It's ridiculous. I think 30 million people can't feed their kids because of the shutdowns because they have no money. Trump says he wasn't a problem with. Oh yeah, so Trump said he has not had a problem with spreading COVID at his rallies. I don't know how you could track that. Like, I don't know how anyone can say like, no, he spread COVID from this. Like, but I also don't know how you could say like, no COVID was spread at my rally. I don't know how you can say that one way or the other. That's just me. And no one goes to Joe's rallies. Trump made a point, well, no one goes to your rallies, Joe. All right, fair point. And I think there's a reason why. I'm not getting that. I think there's a reason why. Because one, Biden at his like speeches, every time he goes into public, he doesn't take questions. Him and Kamala Harris like sit, they say whatever they need to say, and he doesn't take questions. Like, nobody takes questions. I feel like I don't know why. Maybe he is sick, which I think he is. I mean, the guy's had how many brain surgeries already, and I just question his health. So outside of that, we have Biden was no. All right, so Biden does not understand the difference between. Maybe this is a tactic. I don't know if he does or not, but Biden says like, oh, when you have these billionaires of the, of the world making even more money during the pandemic while everyone else is losing money, something's wrong. Now, I understand what he might be trying to do. He might be trying to appeal to people like me that lost damn near everything because of COVID. Because I give out money to business owners, my own money. And what happens with that is when business owners couldn't operate and they all or most of them defaulted on their loans, I lost like $90,000. And that was not a good time. When they say mental health was on decline because of this, I was very close to killing myself, because that is almost 6 figures that I lost in like 2 months. So he is maybe he's trying to appeal to people, saying like, hey, pit us versus them. Although I'm not really that, because back against the wall, okay, work and make more money. But Biden is trying to say like, okay, look at these billionaires, not a lot of them, and he's trying to make haves versus have-nots. However, in that same breath, there is a difference between realized and unrealized gains. After I lost all that money, I tried to collect what receivables I could. I was going to quit lending money. I thought, like, this is it. I'm not doing this again. Because I started a Pokemon business like 2 weeks before the pandemic, which is like the worst time to start a business. But I was like, okay, I'll take what profits I can, what money is still coming in, buy Tesla stock, and that'll be wherever it goes in 10 years, and then I'll focus on Pokemon business. I was not going to do this again. Having said that, anyone who has Tesla stock, which is Elon Musk, a billionaire, I'm just using him as an example. You do this with Bezos, you do this with anyone that has stock in their own company. Just because you have a certain amount of stock, and that stock increases by like tenfold, like Amazon or Apple or Tesla, like if I have, let's say I had $100,000 in stocks at that time, and I have $1 million, now that doesn't mean I have $1 million in my bank account. Like, it doesn't. Like, a lot of people have that in their 401ks because like they can't take it out, they can't sell it because they have to pay a large amount of tax. And business owners that own stock of their own company are not going to sell their own shares and give up shares. They're not going to give up a percentage of what they own for the company. It's just not going to happen. So what he's talking about, people that made money in the pandemic, that they didn't actually make it. They don't have that access to that money. They could if they sell. No one's going to sell because it's for retirement. But there's a possibility he was just trying to do it us versus them. But there's also a possibility that he just doesn't understand economics. I know Bernie Sanders doesn't, but maybe I don't know. So Biden also says 1/6 of businesses are shut down due to lack of funding. Yes and no with this. Now, a lot of businesses that I know were shut down because of they're just not allowed to operate. So most of them, I think, again, because that's what I work with, that's what I do with business owners that just aren't allowed to operate. They shut down not because of the pandemic, not because of lack of funding, but because they weren't allowed to operate. Given however much PPP you want, the Payment Protection Program, that is only going to help paying people. That's not going to help them buy inventory or materials. That's not going to help with their overhead. It's not going to help with their mortgage. You need to be able to open up for these business owners to survive. And this is why I think the left is losing the middle, because all the left overplayed the hand, so let's shut down the economy. Let's fuck Trump. And, they did it under the guise of, flattening the curve. And now these business owners lose their livelihood. It's just, it's not good. It's really not good. When I say, I did have a client of mine kill themselves because they lost everything. And do you think any of those people, are going to vote for the people that made them shut down, say they can't go to work? Especially when Nancy Pelosi is all like, oh, you guys don't do that, but I'm going to go to a nail salon or hair salon, and I'm not even going to wear a fucking mask. They're not. They're just not. Um, Outside of that, Trump says Trump did. He was asked, "Hey, it came out that you only, but from the New York Times, anonymous source. So I don't know if it's real or not. Nobody does. That Trump, you'd only paid $750 tax in federal income taxes. For the 2016. Is this true? Now, Biden, this is how you skirt around an answer. Trump did not answer the question. It's like, I've spent millions of dollars in taxes. I do that all the time. Like, he didn't say federal. You could pay millions of taxes in other ways. That doesn't mean you didn't pay. So Trump is either he did only pay $750 in federal income tax, or he just paid he actually did pay a lot more in conjunction with other things, and he's just kind of letting people surge and wonder. I don't know. Again, nobody knows. Biden wants to eliminate the tax cuts. That anytime you say you want to raise taxes, that is not a good thing. It's just not. And I know the old saying, there's only two rules in life: death and taxes. And taxes just increase. The taxes only go up unless you're Trump, and it's like, you're going to take the for business owners 35% tax and make it 21%. That has helped me out and a bunch of my clients out tremendously. Biden wants to raise it back up to 28%. Whether he could do that, I don't know. He would have to have support of Congress and the Senate. So it could just be hearsay. After that, Biden is proud of the bailouts. Proud of the bailouts that, bailed out, because that was his administration, him and Obama's, that said, we're going to bail out people. I personally think they did the wrong thing. By bailing out like GM and Chrysler and companies that just did the wrong thing, and let those companies die. But GM, even though they make cars, are more of a healthcare company now, because that's just what they do. They offered healthcare years ago, and now I don't know if the government will ever really let them go. Even though they declared bankruptcy, the government bails them out. They'll probably continue to bail them out. Now, building on that premise, the only two car companies, there's been hundreds of car companies to startups over the last 100 years. Only two have not declared bankruptcy: Ford and Tesla. Now, Ford is about $150 billion in debt, and they lost money last year. So I will bet someone, whoever wants to take the bet, $10,000 that they will declare bankruptcy this decade. I'll bet $10,000 right now. Tesla, that's where I put my money. Just want to bring that up because go Tesla. Now, Trump mentioned Biden's son, one of his sons, taking money from China and Russia. Most likely he did. I think it was that's kind of a. He did take money from one of Russia's, one of their politicians' wives, or one of their business owners' wives. It wasn't like Putin didn't give him, 35 million, millions of dollars. It was someone that wasn't it was someone very rich, and it was that person's wife. So it was weird. I don't know if he accepted money from China. I'm pretty sure Ivanka did, though, from one of her business deals, and Biden should have just brought that up. But I can't confirm that. I think that's something that I just heard, but I remember being from a reputable source. The moderator they had, Chris Wallace, he's just like a beta, simp guy. He's like, he was getting pushed around. This is why we need Joe Rogan. We need someone that knows martial arts, and we need someone that's going to hey, that's just not going to take any shit. That everyone was talking over everyone. It was ridiculous. So that's what I think. Sorry, there's a little bit more. Joe tried to attack Trump, saying that he's racist. Someone that co-authored the 1994 crime bill should not really be attacking other people for their mistreatment of minorities, when a lot of minorities were mistreated because of that bill, because of Joe. Trump calls for not keeping. Trump called out Democrat cities or Democrat governors in charge of those cities for not keeping those cities safe. Again, this is something I'm trying to help the Democrats here. If you have people at a BLM or any type of protest, doesn't matter what protest it is, and they go and they, throw Molotov cocktails into buildings where fucking kids are sleeping, and that even though I'm going to say most of the BLM protests, let's say 95% are peaceful, and a lot of these people that, let's say Antifa, whoever you want to call them, start attacking like businesses, black-owned businesses, or people have kids in there. What the fuck do you think is going to happen if you attack someone's apartment building where they live, and you're saying, oh, this is like because I'm a Democrat and we hate Trump? They're going to vote Trump out of spite. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? And Trump called them out, like you guys that want to defund the police, you're not, like, Jesus Christ. Biden says that most cops are good, some are bad, and you must hold bad ones accountable. I think that's something we can all agree on. So good for Biden for saying that. One of my best friends, Ty, you've seen him on the podcast, I hope, that both of his parents are New York detectives. And I think his dad had said, like, only like 10% of cops deserve to be cops. A lot of people there are really just collecting a paycheck. My friend Matt is also a cop. He's like, he wants to do one thing and not the other as a cop. He says, just, I don't like taking money from people. He's a genuinely great guy. I served with him in the military. I deployed with him. There are some people in like the cops are paid. Like, dude, I have a lot of friends that are cops, and most of them are really good. Like, they're like, I have this one guy that's maybe like just like a pussy, but that just shows that cops just need better training, and you need more money to be able to fund that better training. So I agree 100% with Joe Biden that says, yes, most cops are good, hold the bad ones accountable. Biden says that we can defeat racism in America. I think the only way to really defeat that is just take a whole bunch of acid. You don't give a shit about what color people are when you're on acid. You just want to say, like, you just see a person living their best life. You just want to help them. You want to be friends with them. You want to drink beer with them. You want to listen to good music with them. Biden saying that we can defeat racism is like when Monica Lewinsky said, I want to end cyberbullying. Really, Monica? That's what you want to do? Biden opposes defunding the police. Great. Another thing I agree with Biden on. You should not defund the police. You need to give them more money to be able to weed out the bad ones and train, the ones that are good, make them even better. Biden also said he wants to prosecute the rioters. Great. Biden, you're on a roll the second half of this debate. Rioters should be prosecuted. Now, as far as words go, Trump asked Biden to say law and order. He asked Hillary Clinton the same exact thing. I don't understand what the issue is. They're saying law and order. I don't understand the problem with that. Trump was asked to denounce white supremacy. I've denounced all things many times, and the Proud Boys, they should stand back and stand by. What the fuck, Trump? Just do it. Just say, like, I denounce white supremacy. Now, apparently, the White House press secretary has quotes that she said from this date, this date, and this date, where Trump did say that. I'm sure he did if the press secretary is saying that. When someone asks you on national television and millions of people watch, just say, like, yeah, no, white supremacy is stupid. I don't know why he didn't say that. Trump mentions Biden's son's coke problem and why he got kicked out of the military for it. One of the things that I found a couple of, out of this whole shit show, I did find a couple of diamonds in the rough. Now, one of the things that Trump said that I really enjoy is that saying, like, we are going to continue to give people tax credits for buying zero-emission vehicles, electric vehicles, like Tesla and anyone else that has no emissions in their vehicles. I think that is fantastic. I love that Trump's doing that. It doesn't have to, but it would actually do me good if he didn't, because that means more people would buy Teslas because they make the best car bang for your buck. But we all just want to see the world in a better place. We all just want to see, and that's Tesla's mission, is to accelerate the transition to sustainable energy. So the fact that Trump said that, I love. Now, something that Biden said, as soon as Trump brought up Biden's son and his coke problem, Biden, like, looked into the camera and he said something along the lines of, my son had a problem. He got over it. He fixed it. I'm proud of him. I love my son. And for anyone like me, I've had a bunch of issues with alcohol, and a bunch of my friends, especially in the military, that develop problems because military life is hard. Or just people in general, not even people in the military. I guarantee you, everyone watching this knows someone with a substance abuse problem. So Trump saying that, yeah, like, one, probably not a good idea to do that, and two, the fact that Biden was real for a moment. He like looked into the camera, like looking at us, and he said like, I've been through it. Like my family's been through it. I've been where you guys are. That meant a lot to me. So kudos to Biden for that. Biden says he will. So he says that the Green Deal will pay for itself. Oh my God, no, it won't. The Green Deal, one of the things that they want to do is take every single building in America, tear them down, and build them back up with light bulbs that are more efficient. And no, it will not pay for itself. And then he says he denounces it. I will not use the Green Deal. But then he said it'll work. Like I don't know. Maybe he just got confused. I don't know what he's trying to do with that. Say with that. He contradicted himself a couple of times. And Trump said that multiple ballots is a concern. I think it is a legitimate concern. Multiple ballots for people where you can buy them. People have there's so many videos of people having multiple ballots in their car, people getting multiple ballots in their home, different addresses. Like, it is a legitimate concern. And yeah, we haven't had too much issue in the past because there was only 1 or 2% of people doing it. But now there's going to be like 30% of people doing it. Post office is not going to be able to catch up. It's going to be ridiculous, I think. So we'll see what happens. Guys, that's it for me today. I love you all. I'll talk to you all later, okay? Bye. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm.